Yeah.
Wouldn't that be accurate?
Yeah, December 2004. Yeah, that's pretty early. Yeah, that's when I started Reality Bitch Slap Radio, and then soon did Accident Hash, and now I do Accident Hash and Managing the Gray. So a lot of fun.
Tell me how that came about. What was the process that you went through to decide that you wanted to do a podcast, and how did you come up with the subject matter? And just kind of describe it to us, if you would.
So I got my first iPod, is what it was, and I was out looking on the web for ways to hack it and play with it, and found podcasting, and I'd been blogging for years, and I'm like, and I did radio in the past. I'm like, oh, okay, it's audio blogging, that's cool. Fired it up, started doing a show, kind of commentary, true audio blog, old school, and then started doing music, which was a passion of mine. I wanted to play music that people weren't hearing, and it seemed to click with people. People loved hearing it, and then my marketing podcast came about after I went to an event full of what was pegged to me as the best marketing people around, and they didn't know things like, this was 3 years ago, they didn't know about things like YouTube, and they barely understood blogging. I'm like, wait, these are the experts? I should do a podcast to help these people get this stuff. And that's how Managing the Gray came about.
What were some of your, would you say, were your innovations that you pioneered in podcasting?
I mean, one of the big things I did, I was the project manager for the building of the PodSafe Music Network, which has helped a lot of people, get music to play on their podcasts. It was a real pain in the early days, and still is a pain. It's easier now, but to find music to play, and working with Podshow to build that, but before they were even Podshow yet, which was fun. That's probably the biggest thing, and just helping people. I'm one of those people that I like to help people figure things out, and I've always, I run a marketing agency called the Advanced Guard, but at the same time, I'm like, people are asking me questions all the time that I could probably charge, but I'm like, no, I just want to help you. And I love, Eric Rice always talks about, share everything you know and answer every question you're asked, and I agree with that. And that's what I try to do, is just help people. And if my enthusiasm and being psyched about new media helps somebody, hell yeah, why not?
So what are your current projects right now? How do you divide your time? If you had to say percentage wise, what are you working on right now?
Well, in October, I launched my own company, so that's sucking up a lot of my time. I mean, working with clients, clients like M Dialogue, who does, they're actually here with me. I lost them. They do high resolution video, and American Eagle Outfitters are some clients of ours. So they're a lot. I mean, majority of my time, and then doing the podcast kind of fits in when I can, and so it's 99% new business, 1% family, and then everything else goes after. It's crazy. It's tough.
What do you use for equipment to do your podcast? That's something might be interesting to the Tech Podcast Network folks.
Okay. I'm not very. It's an off-the-shelf computer, a PC. I use Cast Blaster to do all my recording. It's live recording. I don't do any post-production. I have a really simple, no-name microphone and a mixer that I don't know how to use the knobs on because I don't do anything with it. I literally don't. I fire up Cast Blaster, hit record, hit publish, and I'm done. It's everything I do is live with no post-production on it. I like that live feeling of it, the vibe. I think it's from the old days of radio. I think I like the liveness of it.
So you work with Adam Curry and Podshow then? How's that experience? How is it working with those folks?
It's interesting. It's an interesting time. Yeah, I was one of the first podcasters signed to Podshow way back in 2005. And it's an interesting, they're an interesting company. They're trying to do things, trying to do some big things. And, sometimes the producers, don't know what's going on. But, they love them or hate them. They definitely, made podcasting be on a lot more people's minds back when they did it, when they first started. And, they've got some cool stuff coming out that I hope, continues to help push us all forward. So they're an interesting lot of people, that's for sure.
Do you have any anecdotes about anything that might have happened with those folks?
That I won't get in trouble for. I'm trying to think of nothing comes to mind. I've had some fun times with them. I've been saw Adam one time in London when I was at a conference. Watching Adam get groped by Ewan Spence from the Podcast Network, that was a fun thing. They were just hugging and Ewan started groping him, which was fun. And they were both sober too.
So where are you based out of?
I'm out in Metro West Boston, so west of Boston.
Now, how is it? Do you find it easy to work in a virtual sense with the Podshow folks, being based on the East Coast and they being based on the West Coast?
Yeah, I think virtual working works great because my business partner in my company lives in New Jersey, and we launched a company and we don't see each other face to face for real very often. We use Skype. to do video chats daily. But I think any company nowadays, between the IM and email and now video conferencing, it makes it a lot easier. Granted, there's nothing like face to face. I mean, let's face it, that helps. But Podshow's gotten really good lately with we use Google Groups a lot to stay in touch. There's different groups for different campaigns and different like subdividing groups underneath the company, which makes it a lot easier to work, and everybody stays in touch and stays in the loop.
Google Groups. I hadn't thought of that, using that for a work work thing.
Yeah, it's just for email lists. But now Google Groups allows you to upload files and stuff. So like things like video bumpers or audio bumpers, things that everybody needs. You put them up there once. You don't have to forget. You can forget about it. But the nice thing about Google Groups too is it threads the discussion, so you can follow it easier. And everybody's using Gmail now, anyways. So yeah, we use that a lot for like the producers group and stuff.
Who are some really top-notch music? Pod-safe music artists that you can think of right now?
Ones that I personally, Matthew Ebel is a good friend of mine that I absolutely love. He recently moved from Nashville to Boston. Monk is a Boston-based artist that I really love, has a brand new album out. Angie B, of course, from the Love Spirals, is doing great things. Every day, those are the ones that come to mind off the top of my head. They're all, and thankfully, they're all friends too. I've gotten to know them through podcasting. It's funny. I've been working a lot with this new company, Aerial Publicity, Ariel Hyatt, who is here, and she's been finding some amazing artists, just finding them left and right and making them pod safe and getting them involved. And it's driving me nuts. I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Have you run into any good pod safe musicians here in Austin? There's certainly enough musicians in this town.
I haven't yet. I want to. I'm going to go see tonight. There's a show by the band called the Scabs, and they're not pod safe yet, but I've heard great things about them, so I'm going to go check them out and hopefully get them pod safe, which would be cool.
Maybe you can convert them.
That's exactly that's the plan. That's the main reason I want to go to the show, because I want to introduce myself afterwards if they are good. I want to hear if they're good first, and even if they're not, just because I don't like them doesn't mean that other people, So I might like them, but I've heard great things about them. So hopefully we'll have them up sometime soon.
What shows do you have on your playlist on your iPod? Podcast shows.
Yeah. 6 Pixels of Separation from Mitch Joel is a must listen in my book. I religiously listen to it. In Over Your Head, when Julian Smith actually feels like doing a podcast. It's been a few months. I love that. A lot of video stuff lately, Geek Brief TV, the Alaska Pod Show, because he goes on hikes and drives me nuts because I want to go hiking a lot more than I do. I also listen to a lot of, lately, audiobooks. Pacific Coast Hellaway with Mark Ishimoto Nemcoff, and he does some audiobooks, and Scott Sigler and J.C. Hutchins, Seventh Son. Those are the main ones I listen to. I have a lot more that I subscribe to. I just haven't been able to listen to them as much as I'd like to. I don't have a commute anymore. That's when I used to listen to it, was at the commute. And I don't drive anywhere anymore, so I never get to listen.
Yeah, I listen to them at night when I go to sleep. That's a good time for me. And I just set it so it doesn't run all night, so that I just listen to like one podcast, and then I'm asleep. I usually don't make it through it, though. That's the only problem.
That's too bad. If the content's, I hope that's kind of bad, but I understand what you're saying too. That's cool.
So, what's your show? What's it called? And how, if somebody went to iTunes, how would they find it? What would be the keyword they would use?
Well, if you type in CC Chapman, you'll find my shows. But Accident Hash is the music podcast. AccidentHash.com. Managing the Gray is the marketing one. And then once in a while, when I do video, it's one called One Guy's Thoughts. And all 3 of those, you can find them in iTunes or at the .com. I own them all. So.
What do you do on your video podcast?
It's really just slice of life, me talking, hey, I realized I had Managing the Gray, which was my marketing, new media focus, and Accent Hash was music, but I didn't have really an outlet for, everything else. The family and the ranting and the raving and other stuff. When I want to talk politics, I didn't really have an audience for that. So I just kind of started doing One Guy's Thoughts as just a sort of, it was originally to test this Video Blaster software, where, again, I didn't want to do post-production. I hate editing video. I hate it. There's so much work involved in it, and I didn't want to do it. So it's literally just usually slice of life. It's usually me with a camera talking to, hey, what's up? And I seem to be doing it more now lately, but I haven't done one. I just did one the other day, but so One Guy's Thoughts once in a while.
And what does the CC stand for?
Oh, that was 3rd grade. I had a teacher, and there was 2 Charleses in the class. And the other one had a nickname. He was named Chippy, and she wanted me to feel left out, so she called me CC. And it is.
What does the CC stand for?
Charles Chapman.
Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah.
Nothing fancy.
Okay.
it just kind of stuck. It literally, I wasn't expecting it to. You know, I didn't. It was third grade, and everybody except my parents call me that now. So, it's kind of stuck.
Cool. Okay, random thoughts. Just random thoughts. What are you thinking randomly right now?
I'm thinking that I had a really good Mexican for lunch, and I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do now because it seems to be kind of a lull right now in the whole session. So it's very lull. So I was like, "What am I going to do?" I'm like, I didn't dare Twitter. I was debating, do I Twitter? I'm bored at South by Southwest right now. I'm like, that's a dangerous thing because you can't be bored. You make your own fun. So that's literally what I was thinking when you grabbed me. I was like, what am I going to do? Because there's some 2:00 sessions. So I was like, which one do I really want to go to? Is there one I want to go to? So that's what's that, and I'm wondering if the offer on the house, we got an offer on our house we're trying to sell last night while out at a party, and we counter offered, and I'm wondering if they're going to come back and give us a good deal.
So you're moving?
No, I last August I put my house on the market, bought a new house, and quit my job all within 3 weeks.
And you started a company?
Yeah, that happened a month later. Yeah. When I quit the job, I didn't have one lined up. I was going to do straight up freelance, and so I was kind of insane, just kind of threw caution to the wind, and so eagerly hoping to sell that old house. So we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, man, I've had a great time talking to C.C. Chapman today, and hope your new venture works out well, and your ongoing venture with the folks out in San Francisco at the Pod Show Network goes well, continues to go well, and good luck to you, and
all right.
maybe we'll see you around some more.
Oh, yeah,
We'll
I'll
bump
be
into
all
you
over.
again.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you.